Hello, welcome to Financial Wisdom with Milam. Basically, where we break down the ideas, how to save money, what to possibly invest in, and how to go about it by yourself, for yourself. Thank you for joining us today. So, we're going to start a part two, basically just briefly, that's all it's going to be, about the part one, which was basically making sure that you have a written plan and that you act on it basically and follow those 3 rules that we talked about. If you haven't seen the video, well, look it up. It's going to be here or there somewhere, and it's going to be in the description as well. You can click on it and look at that one first, perhaps before you look at this one, which just makes sense. Part 1 first, then part 2. Okay, but let's talk about the realities of life. Some of you, I'm sure, probably having a harder time than others about how to go about it, actually, and that's the whole reason. I was thinking actually just finish budgeting with one video, but as I was driving actually over the weekend and as I drove back to the office, today is Monday, but basically what I was thinking is we need to talk about how to do so if you have never done so. Let's say that you grew up in a household where the money was never an object and you can always have whatever you wanted, right? Well, clearly this might not actually apply to you unless you were kicked out of the tribe and you have to fend for yourself, as they say, and you realize that it's not as easy as it was because you were on somebody else's nipple, as they say. So, but for the regular folks like us, what we need to do is actually recognize this, that some of it, we can honestly say, it's not just our doing, but some of it maybe too with mom and pop. If you're lucky enough to have mom and dad, maybe they were not taught how to budget and so forth. But some of them are really exceptional at it, and we should recognize that. So how do we find people like that, perhaps to even mentor us, to learn from? And I thought about this because, believe it or not, I know it's going to sound cheesy as hell, but some of the best advice actually I've been given, it was from the veterans. I'm a veteran myself. I served back in former Yugoslavia. I was in the army there, 86, 87. But from the veterans here, especially because it's voluntary, back home was mandatory. Back then, now in Serbia, and also from the cons, people who actually serve time in a prison, because you really quickly realize that you live literally day by day, particularly if you're on a battlefield. If you have bullets whizzing by your head every day, and if you're downrange, as they say, and you're trying to survive, you're worrying about the person next to you, to your left, to your right. And I know a few heroes. I met them personally. I actually literally have friends who are Silver Star, Bronze Star people. I mean, I'm telling you, that's a story for another day. We'll go through that. But I have people who actually been downrange numerous times, so I know what I'm talking about. You can literally walk by those folks on the street. You will never guess who they are. Honestly, they're just exceptional in what they do and how they care about them, how they carry themselves, and how they care about their family, their kids. There's something to be said. Now, not the same, but the similar principle. It goes to some of the what do you call, like people who actually serve the prison time, okay? People who either were wrongfully jailed. I met a couple like that, and that's a story unto itself. There's what do you call, the Innocence Project, I think it's called. That's incredible. If you haven't joined to look at stories and learn about people like that, you should. It's fascinating. But just how they had to survive every day, like when they were doing hard times, some of them, and when they came out, how they were grateful for each day given to them. Never thinking about what do you call, a week from now, a month from now, just for the next morning, for the next sunrise, for the next sunset, by making sure they put a foot in front of the other. So that's very, very hard to do when you've been between 4 walls from a lot of your life, basically, even when you're wrongfully convicted. Now, that being said, we're going to actually just share some of the ideas, what I think, where you can find some of these folks that can help you. Let's begin. This is just my opinion. As I said before, I'll let go of my licenses, so seek your advice from professional advice if you want to. But like I said, I do a lot of things that I help people with, and I help people build wealth through various means of investing, different sources of income. So that's what my specialty is. But more importantly, like I said, make sure that you talk to a professional advisor. I have to say that because, as I said, a few years back, I let go of my licenses, so I'm not officially a financial advisor. I'm independent, but it's a separate story. That being said, I wanted to say that, so how do we find actually what do you call, people that can help us? What I mean by that is simple as this. If you're fortunate enough, and if you actually live in a community, it could be a city, even better, to be honest. If you're rural, I think it's even better, in my opinion. You can actually join Veterans of Foreign Wars even as auxiliary. If you have family members maybe who have served, or even you know somebody who has served, or you have served yourself. Thank you, of course, for your service in the society. I know it sounds cheesy, but I really appreciate it because I've been there. I know what I'm talking about. So what I wanted to say is they're incredible. I mean, they're incredible source of wisdom, they're incredible source of discipline, and they can demonstrate to you what it meant to be overseas when many people didn't even appreciate them, never said thank you on the way back. You know the stories I'm talking about, even from several wars before. I'm not going to blame somebody because our government sent somebody overseas on my behalf. Fine, they did it, but I'm going to hug and kiss the veteran. That's all I'm going to tell you, and support him or her any way I can. I've done it, and I'll do it all day, every day. So this is for them. They're special, and they know that. But the reason I'm pointing them out as a first, actually, is it's amazing because if you're lucky enough, actually, they do several functions throughout the year. You know, like they have like a spring sale, bingo. They even do bingo nights, like some like Italian-American club. We'll talk about that in a minute. Some other social clubs. But it's a great source of actually stepping out of your comfort zone. Yes, I'm an introvert. That's why I'm doing this. I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I know it sounds cheesy, even that I'm Gemini in horoscope, right? But the reason is because you can actually meet some of the incredible people by being there and literally just telling them that you're trying to learn a bit about the self-discipline, about what it takes to be disciplined. And I can tell you, I mean, those people know what they're talking about. So you'll be amazed. The reason I'm pointing that out is because, and why is this relevant to the budgeting, is that you know as well as me that teachers, even down here in Florida, teachers and veterans are criminally underpaid. I mean, what we pay them, we should all be being locked up, seriously. I mean, for what they provide, what kind of service and what they do on our behalf, raising our kids and helping our kids learn, and our veterans being going downrange and dodging bullets on our behalf. We are absolutely ridiculous what we pay these people. That it's a shame, really. That's my opinion. And the benefits that they get is the least we can do, and we can certainly do more. So I always joked with one of my clients before we talked about, so Milan, if you had a chance to employ somebody, who would you employ? I said, oh, that's easy. I said, either a veteran or an ex-con. He looked at me like, what do you mean? Like, well, they're down to the bone, they're honest, and then, like I said, they'll work twice as hard as anybody else because nobody's giving them a chance. Think of it outside the box. I always keep saying that on this channel, we have to think outside the box. So my favorite folks, veterans, ex-con, who actually got their life together. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. So the reason for that is because, think about it this way. If you actually go and meet somebody and literally introduce yourself, say, hi, my name is Milan. I just wanted to learn a bit about you guys. I've drove by this road so many times. I've seen this building and I really don't know what it's all about. Can you tell me a little bit about where you served and what you did? Show interest in them. They will show in return interest in you. It's called beginning of a relationship. That's how it starts. But show interest for first-time people. They will be more than happy. And as you get to know them, actually, maybe over the next time, or if you meet with the person again, you'll be surprised. Maybe your neighbor, maybe 2 houses down from you, or second apartment down, is somebody who served 2-3 tour of duties. And you have no idea what they're freaking legends in the field, but you don't know. Those are the people I want you to meet if you got a chance. You should talk to them. Another reason is because other than being exceptionally good and disciplined people, they're great mentors. What is a mentor? A mentor is somebody actually who will give somebody advice without being pressured to do so, but just being asked to do so. Please remember, if somebody gives you advice, including me, if you don't do it, it's not on me, it's on you. So you have no excuses, okay? If somebody tells you, hey, have you tried doing this? Have you tried doing that? Because they learn to deal with a lot less in a field in another country than we here with everything. We're in the first world, we have everything here, but they don't have everything overseas. So think about that for a second. So it's important to just think about it. So they're actually a great source of friendships, lifelong friendships, and lifelong wisdom. And that will definitely help you a little bit about, they might have a idea or two about how to do your budget and how to go about it, budgeting actually. So that's why I put them first there. I know it sounds a little bit out of ordinary, but believe me, it does work, okay? Okay, so another actually source of wise people and what you call, in all sorts of shapes and what you call ages, is in a church. Now you're probably gonna ask me, why did they put a church in red? I don't know, I just grabbed the thing here that was here, so don't assume nothing, okay? Anyway, I know someone gonna say, why did you write a church in red? Doesn't matter. I just wanted to have fun, how's that? So basically, if you are a member of the church, if you belong to a congregation somewhere, because there are a lot of churches here in Florida, I mean, we are down south, so we know there's a church just about every few blocks, okay? But you get to meet some of this also extraordinary people there. You'll find the business owners who contribute to the church, who donate, people who've been successful on their craft. Maybe even some veterans are going to be going to the church more than likely. So all this is intertwined, actually, some of the things I'm putting together. But if you find some of them, if there is some function that you can meet some of these extraordinary people, please join. Just go for it and do it. I mean, you don't have to be even a Bible kisser, as they say, like a Bible hugger, but you have opportunity actually to meet some extraordinary people that you'd be amazed. Boy, do I have stories from church. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, not to start now, but so yeah, I mean, you can meet some extraordinary people, and as you do, same conversation. Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. You'll find out, who the donors are, who helps with their time, who has a bit of time now at this point, maybe because the business is obviously doing well, and they can go donate their time to the church and to the needy. You can actually find some of these people who can definitely even help you with some of the ideas and maybe even mentor you, just to follow up on you and to check on you. So if you've never done anything like this is a little bit outside the box thinking. That's this challenge is all about things that you were taught that you can do, but nobody kind of went into the weeds. But we're going into the weeds because I'm telling you that it does work. Some of my clients have done exactly this, and to this day, they're really much better off. And there's still BFFs with a lot of people from either church or the Veterans Foreign Wars, a couple other things that we're going to mention here. So basically, be helpful, be of service. I don't want to sound like too John Wick here, but I have served and I will be on service, okay? That's my motto. I'm trying to help as many people as I can because we can always remember the golden motto on this channel, which is saving is a cure, not a disease, right? You remember that. So that's why we're going to maybe, again, it doesn't have to all happen over one meeting. It might take 2, 3, or 4. It's okay. You get to know these people, but you're becoming friends with them. Please remember that. That's more priceless than anything else. Who doesn't need more friends? I mean, true, genuine friends, people who are adults, who have the tight and who know how to do things. So yeah, those are good people to know, okay? So just think about that for a second, all right? So the number 3, this is one of my favorite. So social clubs. Remember, folks who come from overseas, like myself, I don't think there's like a Serbian club here, not here, but I know there's a church in Orlando and in Jacksonville. So every now and then, actually, I've been last time, it's been a little while now, I should probably go and say hi. So obviously, I should do what I preach, right? So just to say hi and see if I can be of help, and I will. So, Colleen, my wife, has reminded me to do so. But other social events, for example, Italian-American club, there's several out here, and several zip codes here where I am. There's also Portuguese large population here. There's a Filipino large population as well. So there were social events as well. Garden club, AARP, pickleball, my wife's favorite. That's Colleen loves to do pickleball. And I met some extraordinary people. And yes, I met some millionaires there too, some really incredible people. But don't laugh at this, okay? Ready? If you were to ask me, Milan, of all those four that you listed, or 4 or 5 that you listed, which one should I go to first? I'm not gonna say something cheesy, up to you, but if it's up to me, don't laugh at this. Yeah, I'll point it again, a garden club. You know why I pointed the garden club? Because it's proportional amount to my clients are women, and they're millionaires and multimillionaires in some cases. And the reason they have become one is because they've been very disciplined about investing over a period of time. If you're not afraid to hear the truth, you can actually speak to a woman at the garden club as you become friends, and you can ask, and he or she more than likely is going to probably even help you, give you an idea of how to budget and how to go about budgeting. You might be literally pulling weeds with the person next to you. You have no idea that's worth several $1 million, and they're actually retired and just donating their time to do the club because this is one of their social things. Because one thing I forgot to mention, maybe I did before, when I asked my clients, and Dr. Thomas Stanley wrote in his book, How to Network with Millionaires and Blue Collar Millionaire. Great book if you get a chance. I'll put a link in the description, affiliate link, so you'll be able to actually get it. But basically what he says, and it's true, I can confirm this from all these years doing this, the number one actually thing they like to do, folks, is they like to actually entertain each other in each other's homes. It doesn't cost much because they buy usually bulk food in BJ's, Costco, that's where they go and shop. And they will entertain friends like them in their home, or they will go to their home. And some of them actually been to the house. My wife actually was just there yesterday, I think, a friend of hers. She has a private pickleball court. Yeah, on her property, like enclosed, everything, with a fan and everything. I'm kidding you not. So she's passionate about pickleball. Great woman to talk to. She's in a different business than I am, but just incredible lady. So yeah, I get to meet some incredible women actually, because my wife is playing in the league actually now. So, hey honey, do you want to come along? Okay, I mean, obviously I'll come along if I can, but have other extracurricular activities. I'll talk about that in the future. But this is a great way also to interact and have fun and keep in shape. and you get to make some really lifelong friends. And those are the people actually, all of those things, Paul. What I'm trying to tell you, you don't have to walk alone. I don't sound like an Arsenal fan here from UK, but you really don't. I mean, personally, I do mine. I'm used to actually walking alone. It's okay. But when I need the help, I raise my hand and ask where and how. So it's perfectly okay to think about this. Like I said, garden club, I know it's outside the thinking, but I'm telling you, you'll be able to meet some extraordinary ladies here, I guarantee you, because I know firsthand. And so many stories there, I can tell you honestly, because they will give you 2 cents if you ask them for it, okay? As they say, like if you ask them opinion, they will give you one, okay? So these are the things I just want to talk about for a minute in a part 2, because I think it's important to remember, when you start, if you don't have a base, if you have never budgeted, how do you know what to do about it? How do you know what to do? I understand if you don't. I'm not judging you. I've been there when I was young myself. I have. What I want to say, I remember the first time actually our daughter came to visit my mom and my dad while they were still alive. And this was 2005. She was only 5 years old at the time. So we came to Belgrade, flew in, Colleen, myself, and our daughter Solara. And Solara ran from one end of our apartment to the other, in Belgrade. And she comes to me, Dad. And Melissa, my sister, can hear because she speaks several languages. She's like, this place is so small. Yes, honey, this 4 of us grew up here. We used to call it a 2-bedroom apartment, but actually it was a 1-bedroom apartment. I was reminded by my wife at the time. She says, you do realize you grew up in a project? It's like, I do? So yeah, I mean, they're like social communist projects, if you want to call them. But yeah, they were projects, buildings with apartments. So yeah. But I got to tell you, I wouldn't trade growing up my childhood for nothing. No money in the world. I can tell you the experience is priceless. So I'm grateful. But I wanted to tell you that when we budgeted, even as a family back in Serbia, former Yugoslavia, we tried to go to to the Adriatic coast every year. This is before the wars and all. This is like a 70s, 70s and 80s. And actually, we started going to the Greece as well, because it was only like a 10-hour drive from where we were in Belgrade down to go to just past Thessaloniki, a little place called Korinos outside Katerini in Greece. We made friends there, lifelong friends. They're still our friends. They come and visit us. We come and visit them. It's amazing what you actually can do when you step out of your comfort zone. But the reason we were able to do so was actually throughout the year. My mom was the budgeter, because she was doing similar thing as assistant manager down in a supermarket, which is 300 yards down from our apartment. And she will budget, she will put down and actually explain, well, this is for this is for your shoes. Let me tell you something. When I used to get a pair of sneakers, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you were that lucky if you had more than one pair. Gee, I want to hear how many pair of sneakers did you have? But when I used to get a new pair of sneakers, of course, they were like a size or 2 sizes too big, because those sneakers were good for next year and a half. I better either not grow too fast, too fast, or make sure that I can adjust somehow. But if anybody stepped on my sneakers, let me tell you, I made them eat dirt, okay? That's how important my sneakers were to me when I was growing up. So since I only had the one pair, so what else I'm gonna do? Of course, that's what I had. I had to protect that, right? Remember the song, like the man says? You can do anything you want to me, honey, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe, right? So we know Elvis was right. So that being said, but I remember mom actually budgeting for our holidays a year before. We will actually literally start driving back, and she was already talking about it for next year. Talking about being an extraordinary woman. How's that as a statement? There was no credit cards, just what they brought. And honestly, folks, I mean, what they were making then and even now with some of those countries that we're talking about, if you're from those countries, you know what I'm talking about, a few $100s a month. So it had to last you for the whole freaking month. But, I remember being a kid, and once I made a comment, like we were eating dinner for the, I think, 2nd or 3rd night, same thing the mom cooked on Sunday, right? I think it was Tuesday, 3rd night. So I'm like, Mom, do we have to have the same thing? I got such a hard forehead. I literally, my nose hit the plate, okay? I was like, oh man, let me just wipe these beans from my face. What did you say? Nothing. My sister looked at me like my dad was like, what I'm trying to tell you, that's how it was. You cook a meal for 2-3 days and it lasts for 2-3 days. Nobody's gonna judge you, but that's what we had because we had nothing more. So we had to do with what we had. So, but budgeting goes actually long before, the budget kicks in before budgeting starts. So you're acting by putting a little bit of money aside. And remember, Mom taught us about saving as well. Dad taught us about saving as well, just because they had to. We had to learn because we didn't have much. So that is really important for you to understand. So when people tell me, well, couldn't you get another job? Yeah, Mom had another job at some point too, or Dad too, just to keep us afloat, to make sure we do. And when we could, as soon as I finished the army and I came back before I left, I worked pretty much within 2 weeks when I came back from the army, actually. I was already working. So what I'm trying to tell you is like, it doesn't matter if you have 1 job or 2 jobs or 3 jobs. The point is you're doing it for a purpose, for yourself. So if you're doing it for yourself, wouldn't it make sense to actually make a plan and then start acting on it by simply actually putting a little bit aside? And always, like I said, every time when you make a paycheck, 10% of all you earn is yours to keep. Keep that aside. And that can be done in what we call systematic investing. You can choose any of the mutual fund companies, obviously. But what I was trying to say, like, remember that by doing it yourself, what actually happens over a period of time, and very shortly too, it doesn't take too long, honestly, it really doesn't. You begin to exercise your muscle and you begin to realize, oh my God, my muscle is growing, I can do this now, it's really easy. You begin to realize you can live on 90%. And in some cases, 85 or 80%, you can save a little bit more. But what I'm trying to say, that every percent counts. If you can do an extra percent, same with your 401k. If you can add a little bit more money to your 401k each month, even in percentages, it's easier than trying to figure out by dollars, I'm telling you. So if you contributed to your 401k only like a 6%, make it 10, make it 8, make it 9, whatever, it's not gonna hurt. And then figure out if it's maybe a couple $100 extra a month. But what I'm saying is, by doing this now, by doing this ahead of the time, you are again on the side of the angels, as they say. You have opportunity to do something extraordinary that a lot of people do not. Please remember that. So that being said, I think we're going to wrap it up here. So I'm going to say what I always say in the video. Like, don't like the video, I don't care, it's fine. Subscribe or don't subscribe, even better, I don't care. But if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you.